Good afternoon, my name is Irgi, and today I'm gonna present two part in cross-cultural understanding presentation project. Part 1. Intercultural communication. What is intercultural communication? Intercultural communication explain it as the process of sending and receiving message between people from different cultural background. Why is important? Because it can use for global business and remote teams, diverse workplaces and communities, and preventing conflicts and building mutual understanding. Common challenge: language barrier, misinterpretation of words and phrases, stereotypes and prejudice, preconceived notion about other cultures, different communication style, direct versus indirect. For example, saying no directly versus hinting. High context versus low context. For example, relying on context versus explicit word. And nonverbal miscommunication. Different meanings of gesture, eyes contact, and personal space. For the real life example of failures, McDonald's in India. For the background, when McDonald's first time entered in India, they did not fully consider cultural and religious dietary habits. The mistake is they used beef tallow in their French fries, which offended Hindus who revere cows and Muslims who do not eat non-halal meat. The solution and lesson: after massive protests, McDonald's created a 100% vegetarian menu in some locations and switched to using vegetable oil. This shows the critical need for deep cultural research. The relationship between language and culture. Language reflects culture. For concept, vocabulary, and expression reveals what is important to a culture. Example 1. The many Inuit word for snow show its importance in their daily life and environment. Example 2. Indonesian pronouns like Bapak or Ibu reflects respect for hierarchy and age. Language shapes culture. Concept: language we speak can influence how we think and perceive the world. For example, in Japanese, the word amae describes a specific expectation of indulgence and dependence, a concept not directly translatable to English, shaping social relationships. Cultural misunderstanding in language use. Politeness. In England, that's an interesting idea. Can be a polite way of saying I disagree. A direct American might miss the subtle rejection. Identity and slang. Using very informal slang in a formal business meeting in Germany or a low context culture can be seen as unprofessional, whereas it might build rapport in a different context. Let's move to part 2. For case study 1, cultural barriers, Indonesia, Germany, and Japan. For the barriers, Germany, high individualism, low power distance, low uncertainty, avoidance. This leads to direct, blunt communication and comfort with disagreement. Japan, high collectivism, high uncertainty, avoidance. This leads to silence to maintain group harmony, like wa, and avoid public disagreement. And Indonesia, high power distance, collectivism. This leads to avoiding confrontation with the manager or respect for authority and prioritizing group harmony. For the evidence and data, you can see from the side of state inside country comparison data that show the chart comparing the power distance and individualism scores for the three countries. An impact on teamwork. The Japanese and Indonesian member may not voice concern, leading to poor decision. The German manager may mistake silence for agreement, causing surprise when deadlines are missed. Trust erodes as each side views the other's behavior as uncooperative or rude. And three practical strategies. Cross-cultural training. Educate all members on each other's communication style. Establish clear communication protocols. Implement a round robin in meeting to ensure everyone speaks. Use anonymous feedback tools. And appoint a cultural liaison. A team member who understands both cultures can help mediate and explain misunderstanding. Case study 2. Cross-cultural communication for business. First is failure analysis. Tropical craft use a high context collectivist advertising appeal for a low context individualist market that value produce, feature, efficiency, and individuality. Marketing data. Reference studies that show Europeans often prefer ads that are factual, humorous, or focused on individual benefits and product quality, unlike the emotional group-oriented ads common in Asia. Cultural values. Collectivism in Indonesia versus individualism in Europe. The ad appeal to collective identity, but European audience connect with personal achievement and independence. High context Indonesia versus low context Europe. The ad relied on the emotional context of family, whereas European viewers expected clear, direct information about the product quality, and design. Revised marketing strategy. Focus on product. Highlight the craftsmanship, unique design, material quality, and durability on the furniture. Lifestyle oriented. Show how the furniture fits a modern, minimalist, or individualistic European lifestyle. Use subtle, sophisticated humor instead of emotional appeal. Professional aesthetic. Use clean visual and factual slogan. Case study 3. Non-verbal communication. Non-verbal issue. Checking watch in the US, it can signal busyness. In Arab culture, is a strong sign of impatience and rudeness. Personal distance. Americans prefer a wider personal bubbles. Arabs maintain closer proximity as a sign of engagement and trust. Research finding. Time. The US is typically monochronic, while Arab cultures are more polychronic. Space. Edward Hall's proxemic. The US is in the social zone 1.2 until 3.7 meters, while Arab culture interact much closer. Influence on trust. The Americans' non-verbal cues signal this meeting is not important, while the Arab client expected you are my priority and will build a relationship. This mismatch destroys trust. Strategies for the future. Research. Learn basic non-verbal norms of the host culture before meeting. Observe and adapt. Mirror the behavior of your counterparts. Focus on relationship building. Dedicate time to small talk and building personal rapport before discussing business. Be conscious of gesture. Avoid quick, impatient movements. Maintain respectful eye contact. So that's all my presentation. Sorry about my misunderstanding word that I say, and the material from this presentation is not good for you, and thank you.